Welcome to the 2025 edition of ASME Section 8, Division 1. This code is the global standard for pressure vessel safety, design, and fabrication. Whether you are a student or an expert, understanding these rules is critical for ensuring safety in high-pressure environments. This isn't just a rulebook, it is a safety code written in blood. Its goal is preventing catastrophic explosions. We use a design-by-rule approach, conservative formulas with built-in safety factors. Follow the rules, and your vessel is legally compliant and safe. When does the code apply? The magic number is 15 psi. Any equipment operating above this threshold is a pressure vessel and must meet these strict standards. Below 15 psi, it is just a tank. This line separates general fabrication from code-stamped safety. The code is structured into three clear subsections. Subsection A covers general requirements for everyone. Subsection B covers fabrication methods like welding. And subsection C is for specific materials like carbon steel. Think of it as general rules, then methods, then materials. Let's look at subsection A, specifically part UG. These are the universal requirements. Whether you use steel or alloy, you must follow part UG. It governs the absolute essentials, from selecting your materials and running design formulas, to final inspection and testing. The core calculation is UG27. This calculates hoop stress, the force trying to split the shell like a zipper. The formula balances internal pressure against the material's strength to tell you exactly how thick the steel must be to prevent a burst. Vessels need end caps, called heads, found in UG32. You have hemispherical heads, strong but expensive. Ellipsoidal heads, the industry standard. And toruspherical heads, cheaper to form but weaker at the knuckle. Your choice here drives both the cost and the safety of the vessel. Now, subsection B, part UW. Since most vessels are welded, this is your fabrication Bible. It defines how we qualify welders and determines joint efficiency. Essentially, it assigns a trust factor to your welding quality, which directly impacts your wall thickness. Not all welds are equal. The code divides them into categories A, B, C, and D based on location and stress. Category A includes the critical longitudinal seams. Category B covers the rings. The category dictates exactly how much inspection you must perform. This is the big trade-off, radiography versus efficiency. Full X-ray gives you 100% efficiency in a thinner wall. Spot X-ray drops you to 85% efficiency, forcing you to use thicker steel. You have to balance the cost of inspection against the cost of material. Subsection C, part UCS, covers carbon steel. The golden rule here is traceability. You cannot use mystery metal. Every plate must have an ASME-approved specification and mill test reports. If you don't have the paperwork to prove the chemistry, you cannot build the vessel. Carbon steel has a weakness, the cold. At low temperatures, it becomes brittle and can shatter like glass. The code assigns a minimum design metal temperature. If you operate below this limit, you must perform Charpy impact testing to prove the metal is tough enough. Before a vessel enters service, it must pass the hydrostatic test in UG99. We fill it with water and pressurize it to 1.3 times the design pressure. This overload test guarantees that both the design integrity and the fabrication quality are solid. If you pass the test, you earn the U stamp. This is an official certification mark witnessed by a third-party authorized inspector. It tells the world that this equipment was built safely and strictly follows the ASME code. This was just a quick overview. To truly master the code, understanding the math, the welding, and the inspection, watch our full, step-by-step video course. Click the link to visit Pressure Equipment Academy on YouTube right now. See you in the course.